Dang, that one moved too. Doesn't look like a truck. All right, well, today we're going to do some non-building stuff. We're going to do some calculations. So I actually have vehicle on its tires, and these are just little 6-inch blocks. They're not welded in, bolted in. It's just literally sitting there. If it falls, the old scissor lifts can catch it. But I threw the pallet up here for a reason. I need to calculate the spring load on this. And so what I've done is I measured from the top of the frame here down to the pad right here. And that came in at 14.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is put a load on this of a known quantity, how much weight. I know how much weight I'm putting on it. I'll remeasure, and then I can take the difference and then take the weight divided by that difference, and that should give me a pretty good idea of what the spring rate is on this. And then when I build the truck bed for this, I'm going to be buying the steel, and you can get, and all the different types of steel, you can get weights on them, so you'll know approximately how much I'm going to be building. So I will know, within 20, 30 pounds, how much it's going to weigh. And then I know how much, we can estimate big spare tires can be about 150 pounds. If I'm going to put a winch on it, on the back, that'll be another, you can look up those weights. And then that'll tell me about how high or where I want this shackle mount to be in relation to the back of the frame. And how much, if I want to have any kind of a rake to this. Right now, it's about a 1.75 degree rake, almost 2 degrees, which is pretty good, I think, for an unloaded truck. You typically have a little rake where the back's a little higher than the front, because when you put a load on it, it's going to drop down. Usually no more than about 1 inch, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for, just a little rake on the back. So I do have known quantity of weights. I have a lot of them actually, and they are right there. Yeah, we burn pellets to heat our house, and does it look cold outside? I'm in shorts. So each bag's 40 pounds, so 10 bags, 400 pounds. That should get me pretty good. If it seems like it needs a little more just to make sure I'm pretty accurate, then I'll go ahead and, throw another 5 or 10 on there. Because I got plenty of them over here. And let's see what happens. See what this calculation comes out to. I'm really curious because I have no idea. So 12 bags, 40 pounds each. If 10 is 400, 11 is 480 pounds. And what's interesting, the back end was actually up about 1.25 inches before I put them all in, so it's definitely doing its job. Let me lower this, make sure there's no contact. There it goes. There, no contact. All right. So we have a known weight. I measured from the spring pad to the top of the frame here at 14 5/8, and I'm going to measure this thing again. Okay. Now I didn't measure at the back, I didn't measure at front, I measured in the middle. Remember, this is for 2 springs, so that's why I didn't move a lot. 1 spring I would have moved twice as much. So let me go calculate it. All right, so to calculate the spring rate, hold on. We got to blend, and it's blowing everything out into the field. Let me close this up. Whew. Get the lighting right. Really bright. Say bye-bye, pretty day. Oh no. Oh no, it's going away. Oh, well. You see? Camera works no matter which way I turn. So, we're trying to figure out the spring load on this. And I ended up doing it 3 different ways. So after I had the 480 pounds already on it, I set this to the bottom of the rail, and then I took all the stuff off, and this came up 7/8 of an inch. So it's all about the difference. The other way I did it was found the difference between the top of the rail here and the spring and figure out how much it moved. So I did the calculations, and the first one I didn't believe it. That was off. So the first one I started at 14 7/8 inch high. Then I put the 480 pounds on. I measured it at 14 inches, so the difference is 5/8. 5/8 is 0.625. So take the 480 pounds, divide it by the difference, and then the spring rate for both springs would be 768. Of course, this is we're at the axle. And then since there's 2 springs, take the 768 divided by 2, and I got 384. 384 is a lot. I go, I don't believe it. So then I decided, let's do this based on the difference of change at where the shackle is at the end, where I showed you at the end of the frame. And it moved 7/8 of an inch. If you take 480 divided by 7/8, which is 0.875, you get 548. And then 548 divided by 2, you get 274 pounds per inch. That means for every 274 pounds, it's going to go down an inch. So I thought, well, now I don't know which one to believe. So I did a Google search on how to calculate leaf spring rate. Yeah, and they gave the actual one where, you got to actually understand the spring rate of the actual piece of steel you're moving. But they says, here's another way to calculate it, a good estimate. So here, rate is equal to the leaf spring width times the number of leaves divided by 12 times 1,000 times the main leaf thickness divided by the eye-to-eye length. And don't forget this little 3 up here. It's cubed. So I went and gathered my numbers. Leaf spring width, 2.5. 6 leaves divided by 12 times 1,000 times 0.31. That was just a rough caliber estimate. And my eye-to-eye length was approximately 51. And then this is cubed, okay? So you do the math here first, and that came out to 1.25 times 6.08 cubed. If you don't know how to do, you don't have a cube feature on your calculator, just take 6.08 times itself times 6.08. Again, just multiply this to itself 3 times, and you'll get a nice number, which was 225. So we take the 1.25, which we calculated up here, times the 225, and I got a spring rate of 281 as their calculated estimate. Well, I got 281 doing it this way, or with a load and measuring from the end of the spring, I got the 274. So I'm going to say 274 and 281. That's my number, about 280. 275, 280, plus minus 5 pounds. Not a big deal. So now I can go look at my estimated weight for all the material I'm going to buy for the truck bed that I'm going to build on top of this. The truck bed is going to be bolted to the frame, by the way. That way, if I want to modify it, change it, put a camper on it, whatever, I just unbolt it and put something else on top. It's more useful. So anyways, that's how you calculate spring rate on a leaf spring. By the way, I just figured that out today. If you don't like my math, leave a comment and let me know what I did wrong, or let me know how to do it right. But I know 280 seems about right because I measure spring rate. You can see my Tahoe, one of my Tahoe ones, I look at spring rates between a H2 Hummer or coil spring and the lift spring I had in my Tahoe rear. That was a lot easier because it's just a coil. It just squishes down, squishes up. You don't have all these, 3 points to measure from. And I got around 250 on one and 280 on the other, and which is pretty believable. Anyways, now I'm still waiting on my spring shackles so I can set this up. So today, I think that's all I'm going to do for the stretch today. I just need to get some info. And then I'm just going to work on the interior of the cab, seam sealer and stuff, the boring. You guys don't want to watch me spread the goo. So it may be another 2 days before I get the parts, and then we'll get back on this rear end though. So till then, see you in a few seconds. Well, got my shackle hangers in the mail. It's late. It's almost evening now, but you know what? I went and did some measurements. I just got to keep the project going forward. So yeah, we're just going to make some spring shackles. So I got to make the mounts for it that attach to the frame. So let's just let her rip. Uh-oh. I saw the plate move. We cut the hole, and then when it moved, there was something sticking up, and the whole plate rotated. So that part ain't going to be no good. Got to start it all over again. All right, we're going to try this again. And if it happens again, I got to figure out what's going on. Let's go. That's looking good. Now I need to put it together. It's a well together thing. Go from there. If it works, I'll cut another one out. Well, so far so good. Looks like I got the measurements correct. I checked it on the shackle. It's all good. So now I just got to get it welded together. So the way I got this, I just put this on. This is a 2x3. That's going to keep the spacing because the spacing on the shackle is actually 2.90, and this will be a 3, so it'll be a whole 10th. And then when I put it on, the bolts will just tighten it up, and it'll be just fine. So actually, it'll be a little wider because I put it at 2.93, I think was the cut for this top plate. But I want to fixture it this way because as soon as I weld it, that stuff's just going to come together. Then it's a real fight, especially when I do the outside and the inside of the weld. So here we go. Boy, the tension on that, I tell you, they just want to close on you. All right. Say we're just gonna let that cool off. We'll go cut the one from the other side. I don't know. Dang, that one moved too. I have to clamp that sucker down. So what's happening, when it cuts that first hole, you see some slag comes up, and depending on where the torque's going, it'll hit that slag. That one broke loose, but if it's stuck on there, it hits it and just moves the whole plate. So yeah, it's been kind of a bear. The other thing I noticed is that on these support plates, you can see where it cuts in. I'm getting slag built up on that, and that makes the plate so it doesn't lay flat. So I probably need to do is drain this tank down and then get my grinder and just kind of knock off the top. Because grinder over that water, it's a big wet mess. All right, well, let's get these pieces over to the workbench and tack them and weld them and do all that stuff. Okay, well, went and put them on. Set the distance, set the angle that I wanted. And look at this thing sitting all by itself. Doesn't look like a truck. I just have 4 really fat tacks, 2 on each side, holding this together. It's enough for mock-up. But yeah, I'm really digging this. It's a truck. There it is, truck bed. Pretty cool little wheelbase, 126 inches. That's at least what I was shooting for. Well, there it is, CJ5 truck, 42-inch wheelbase stretch. Be there. Obviously, there's a lot more to go. You can see that massive PVC drive shaft. I was doing that to see clearances, length, that type of stuff. And gas tank, and the more I tried to put the gas tank in there, the worse it made my truck bed. So it's going to go behind the axle, factory spot, much as I hate it. But there's a reason to do it, because it fits really well there. So there it is. I got just a little more to go until we start to build the truck bed. And we'll get into that later. But now, you know my secrets. You know my little weird bar right down here. Of course, that's going to get, once I'm happy with this, that'll all get welded in with some really good bracing. It's not going to be bolted like that is. Although the bolt would work to some extent. Anyways, I'm not going to trust it. But anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Got a lot more to do on this episode. Please like and subscribe. Particularly subscribe. I really could appreciate the subscription. That really helps my channel. Because the more subscribers I have, the more options YouTube gives me on my channel. Stuff starts popping up, more videos, more subscriptions. So it's really important to me. And those of you guys that have subscribed, thank you from my heart. I really appreciate it. So anyways, I hope so far you've enjoyed the content. I don't know about you guys, but tell me what you think. Truck. Pretty awesome, I think. I'm really happy with you. So anyways, it's getting late and I'm tired. Anyways, good night. I'm out of here. See you next time.